Welcome to the following presentation of the National Football League on NFL Network.
And on this Thursday night of football, CenturyLink Field in Seattle, the site is East meets West. The Seahawks hosting the Philadelphia Eagles. As you take a look at the NFC playoff picture, that's how it looks. Both these teams at 4-7. And yes, they're still in the playoff picture, but it's dangling by a thread for both these teams right now. There is precedent, though. 4-7 teams have made the playoffs. The Chargers twice, most recently in 2008. Welcome to Seattle, everybody. Brad Nessler with Mike Mayock. I put that note in front of Andy Reid in our meeting last night and said, Coach, here's the three teams. Have you told your team that? He looked at me and said, as if I didn't know that. But he said also, when you're in the hunt, what you do is go hunt, and that's what they got to do tonight.
You got to go hunt, and 9-7 might get them in. Now, unfortunately for me, Brad, I've been on a lot of bad teams and a lot of bad locker rooms. Typically, one of two things happens. Number one, either the core veterans really understand it, and they say, fellas, we're professionals, we're going to get it done, we're showing up to work every day, and we're going to win our division. Or you've got a group of players in the locker room that say, I don't want to get hurt, it's time to go on vacation, it's cold and loud in Seattle. It's going to be interesting to see which group shows up for the Eagles.
And again, they'll have to do it without Michael Vick and Jeremy Maclin, their number one receiver. On the other hand, Pete Carroll and the Seahawks, they're in the same boat, really. He said, we got to keep banging, we got to keep plugging. They got a guy that can bang it in their backfield right now.
Yeah, I think they're going to play small ball, and by that I define it real good special teams, good defense, and pound the rock on offense, and you've got the guy to do it with Marshawn Lynch. Now, he's the guy that was the catalyst a year ago in the wild card game where they upset the New Orleans Saints. They've got a big offensive line. Pete Carroll told us last night, we want to knock them off the ball and run this football 35 to 40 times tonight.
All right, let's run it down to the field. Third member of our team is Alex Flanagan. Alex.
Hey, Brad. Well, as he has been doing for a couple of weeks now, Seahawks quarterback Tavares Jackson will play despite tears in his pectoral muscle and his biceps tendon in his throwing arm. Now, Tavares has said that this is his best week of practice since he suffered the injury back in October. And Mike, he just said they're going to play small ball, but don't be surprised if because of Tavares feeling better, they might take a few shots down the field, maybe even to wide receiver Dion Butler, who was active for the first time this season.
Tavares Jackson yesterday in practice threw about as well as he has all season long. Seattle won the toss. They'll get the football first, and Alex Henry will tee it up. Back deep, Leon Washington. 7 career returns for touchdowns, second all time.
And Brad, he almost broke one last week against Washington. 51-yard return, one of the best tackles I've ever seen by a kickoff guy in Graham Gano.
The kick will go to Washington right at the goal line. Cuts it outside at the 20, brought down at the 24. And that's where Tavares Jackson and the Seahawks offense will go to work. There's the numbers on Tavares on the season. 9 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. And they'll go to work at the 24-yard line.
And don't be surprised, Brad, like Alex said, they will take some vertical shots. They're going to bang away with Marshawn Lynch, but they will get vertical 4 to 6 times a game.
Sidney Rice, the number 1 receiver and the favorite target of Tavares Jackson, put on injured reserve yesterday.
We got 10 guys on the field. Bolton Tate sprinting out. That's not a good sign.
Golden forgot he was starting for Sidney Rice until just now. Going to have to hustle just to get the playoff. Marshawn Lynch with flags down will go down after a pickup of 1.
That's a brutal way to start a football game when 10 guys jog onto the field for your offense and you get penalized.
And we're going to have an illegal shift, I think, on top of it. So not only enough bodies out there.
Illegal shift. 2 men were moving at the same time. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Golden thought he was at Notre Dame there for a second. Let's check the offense. Okung, the number 1 draft choice last year, former number 1 pick from the Raiders. Gallery Unger is the guy that anchors it. McQuiston and Giacomini on the other side. Zach Miller, former Pro Bowl tight end. Golden Tate. Golden, you're in the lineup. Michael Robinson, the fullback. And Marshawn Lynch in the backfield. So first down at 15. From the 19-yard line. This time Lynch got 3 or 4. Jamar Chaney made the stop. And we've got a little tussle going on here in the early going.
Frank Paul right in the middle of it.
And we got him unpiled. With that, we'll pile into the defense. On the front wall, Patterson, the veteran group actually up front in that front 4, and they combine for most of the sacks on this team. They get younger as you get in the linebacking core, including Roll, who's a rookie. And the back end, a couple of Pro Bowlers on the corners, and youth at the safety spots. Second down, Tavares Jackson's going to run with it. And gets it out to the 29-yard line. He picked up 5. Chaney again in on the stop. And we'll have our first third down of the ball game.
And keep in mind, not a bad way to go about it after a bad start, Brad, penalty. But then you push the pile with Marshawn Lynch, and then you pick up 6 or 7 more, which puts you into a 3rd and 5 makeable situation.
Seattle, not a great third down team this year.
Hey, Lou! Hey, squeeze right there!
3 wideouts and Tavares Jackson in the shotgun. Low snap. He finds that. Would-be tacklers, but he couldn't avoid Trent Cole. Not a great offensive start for the Seahawks.
Low snap by Unger. This is really discomforting for a quarterback because now his eyes come away from the linebackers in the secondary. He was fortunate that they were only bringing 4. Plenty of time to get the ball off, but they're going to have to punt.
Line to kick. Deshaun Jackson's back deep. Wobbly end-over-end punt. And it'll be down at the 31-yard line. So we'll see if the Eagles bring out 11 guys to start offensively. It'll be Vince Young at quarterback. Again, Michael Vick out with the rib injuries. In the last 10 games, they've started with a pass play.
Well, this is one of the most aggressive offensive teams in the league. Marty Mornhinweg, their offensive coordinator. Brad, we spoke with him last night. I kind of questioned him why he didn't run LaShawn McCoy last week against the Pats up 10-0, and he looked us right in the eye and said, we're getting after it.
Let's see if they keep that streak going with a pass on the first play of the ball game. They will. Vince Young, maybe they will. Young on the scramble, fires, and it's picked off by Cam Chancellor. They shouldn't have thrown a pass on the first play of the game.
Everybody knows that the first thing you have to take away from the Eagles is LaShawn McCoy. The second thing is play action. Riley Cooper deep, really good coverage by Richard Sherman. That forced quarterback Young to bring the ball down. Cam Chancellor out of Virginia Tech. It looks to me like he has control the whole time, and that should be an interception.
4th for him this year. And I'm not sure why Vince Young threw that football.
If he throws it in the 10th row, I'm fine with it. Funky start, fun game.
Just beginnings to football games. This one might take the cake so far. They're checking to see whether or not indeed that was an interception. Did you get another look at it?
Now the right elbow's under it. It's a catch right here, but you see how it just rotates against the ground. The question is, did he control it through the process of the ground? The place where if they're going to question it and give the ball back to Philadelphia, it's going to be because of the right hand coming off right there, comes off the football as he secures it.
Tommy Moore is our replay official. Our referee is Pete Morelli. I think Vince Young thinks it was an interception. He's got his helmet off and his stocking cap on the sideline.
I'm going to tell you right now, that's a play that a high school quarterback shouldn't throw. He's on the edge with clear vision. There's no way that ball can be thrown where he just threw it.
So again, we await the replay officials' verdicts.
Turnovers.
Boy, no kidding. Eagles came in -9 in the turnover category.
And again, I question a veteran in this league like Vince Young, who's been around the block a couple times, 6th year in the league. Why do you throw this football? So watch what happens. We already talked about that was who he wanted. It's not there. He does a good job. Watch him kind of duck inside his right tackle there. Nice job. At this point, he has nothing. That's where his eyeballs are. As he rolls to his right, he thinks he's going back shoulder, and he wants some help from his receiver. Receiver doesn't make any play on the ball, does not help him. However, in my opinion, you got to throw it away. I think that's the right call, Brad.
Yep. The call stands, so an interception, the 4th of the year by Chancellor, and Philadelphia loses a timeout as well. There's the turnover story, as I mentioned, -9, not where you want to be coming into a football game. So good field position after the turnover for Tavares Jackson and the Seahawks.
Now this is a tight end that can run routes. Really good player tomorrow.
Jackson flares it out of the backfield. Michael Robinson, the fullback, rumbles in to Eagle territory. 19-yard pickup.
2 backs, 2 tight ends, typically a heavy run formation. I like what Darrell Bevel's doing here. He's got the tight end Mara, who's going to clear out Asante Samuel. Play action fake. Michael Robinson sneaks into the flat. There's nobody there. Just drop it down to him. That's a really well-conceived play out of a run formation.
Only the 4th catch of the year for Robinson, his biggest one so far. Now it's Marshawn Lynch. Breaks through and almost broke free. Shoestring tackle by Trevor Laws, or he might have been off to the races.
And this is what the Seahawks want to be right here. Robert Gallery does a great job at left guard. Okong gets that 9 technique, and he kicks him outside. Here's this 9. Watch Okong kick him outside and Gallery down in here. There's a natural seam that the linebacker gets kicked on by Michael Robinson, the fullback, and Lynch is inside. Good blocking up front.
Michael Williams, a wideout, settles in after being in motion, and it's Lynch going the other way. Stiff arm 1, 2, and can't hide from the rest. A whole flock of Eagles are there to meet him.
Yeah, really good job by Derek Landry that time. The penetration forced the bounce. Marshawn Lynch gets pushed to the sidelines. And Brad, kind of an interesting start, huh?
Weird start.
I really like the personnel grouping with the 2 backs, 2 tight ends. It telegraphs to the Eagles we're going to run the football, and the play action was there for them.
Tavares Jackson, empty backfield this time on 3rd down at 5. Loads and goes deep down the middle, wide open at the 10-yard line is Obamanu. 26 yards right down the middle.
Wow. And there was no linebacker underneath. The safeties both split over top. And as you called it, Brad, it was an empty set which stretches you horizontally. Obamanu is going to go right down the chute. Look at Coleman going to the outside. This linebacker right here, Cheney, doesn't run through, so either the safety should have stayed in the hole or the linebacker 51 Cheney should have been running under it, but it's obviously a bust.
Seahawks trying to take advantage of the interception, have got it 1st and goal right at the 10-yard line.
Same set, 2 tight ends. That's more. Watch the little slant pass.
Now we got motion. Gallery, I think, came
number
out of the
72
stance.
offense, 5-yard penalty remains. 1st down.
Now, these are 2 of the more penalized teams in the NFL.
Seattle second only to the Raiders, and if you're second to the Raiders in penalties, that ain't good.
That's a ton of penalties, and that it's killed them. Offense, defense.
First and goal back at the 15. Lynch not going to get anything. Well, maybe second effort. He comes out the back of it, and he's in. Touchdown. Straight game that he scored a touchdown. I don't know how he came out the backside of that pile. What a run.
Very reminiscent, not as long as the run in the playoffs a year ago against New Orleans, but the effort was the same. He ran through the arm tackle of Jamar Chaney, pushed the pile, and scored.
Hoska in for the point after. And the Seahawks do take advantage of the interception as they go 60 yards in 5 plays. That was the play that gave them the ball back. This is the one that'll be seen all week long. Lynch out of the back, 15, touchdown. Mike, remember what Pete Carroll said? Keep on plugging, keep on banging. This is banging.
Right there in the hole, that's Chaney with the fullback. He keeps going. Look, everybody's stopping back here for the Eagles, assuming he's down. Just like the playoff game a year ago, Marshawn Lynch keeps his legs going, will not allow Chaney to bring him down, and that is a huge touchdown for the Hawks.
Oscar the kick. Deion Lewis, 4 yards deep, will bring it out. And wished he hadn't to the 15. Maragos made the stop on the special teams. One more look at one of the best runs of the year. Marshawn Lynch giving the Seahawks a 7-0 lead with his 7th touchdown run of the year. Since high school, Marshawn Lynch's mom always gave him a pack of Skittles that he eats during the game after touchdowns. Well, there you go. It's Skittles time. You're never too old for Skittles. Eagles from the 15-yard line. Play action. They're going to pass on first down again. Maybe. Vince Young will gain a yard. So they wanted to go to the air again. Chris Clemens there to make sure he didn't get any farther than that 1 yard. Again, both teams mixing it up a little bit after the play.
And Brad, their wide receivers are going to have to win at the line of scrimmage against the Eagles. I mean, this is a single high safety team. I mean, they're going to play one safety high a predominant amount of time, and then those corners who happen to be young but very big, 6'3" and 6'4". They get up there with those long arms and they press at the line of scrimmage. You got to win early.
Cooper, Jackson, and Avant, the wideouts. 2nd down and 9. Fake the toss, sweep, and come back with a little quick opening draw to LaShawn McCoy, and he only got about 3. Both these teams 4 and 7 for the Eagles. If you're wondering how will they possibly make the playoffs, well, there's a scenario. They've got to win out. And then what needs to happen after they win those 5 games, they got to hold the Giants, beat the Cowboys a couple of times. And the Giants have to lose 2 of the 3 remaining games. Other than those, that's a lot of ifs.
Hey, how about the Eagles have to take care of their own business here tonight, or none of that matters?
Exactly. They've got 3rd down and 5 inside their own 20-yard line. Young with pressure coming. Throws on the sideline. Cooper can't handle it. He had it in his hands and just couldn't hold it. Brandon Browner was there covering.
It's a play that Riley Cooper probably should make. 2nd-year player out of Florida. It's a back shoulder. He gets his hips turned, doesn't extend his hands quickly enough. Look, he gets the right hand on it, the left barely. That's a catchable ball. He had Browner beat.
Chaz Henry comes in to punt, and he stands inside his own 5-yard line. Should be returnable as Washington can scoop it on the bounce, and he does. Oh, what a nice tackle in the open field.
The Saints have the ball.
Oh, look at this run. What a run. Marshawn Lynch still on his feet. Has blockers now. He's dancing his way for the touchdown.
That's as good an effort as I've ever seen in my life from a running back.
67-yard touchdown run in the playoffs last year. Our partner Mike Mayock calling it with Tom Hammond. And here's a look at the 15-yarder a little bit earlier tonight. I don't know if they had any seismic readings coming off that 15-yarder, but last year they did. They had seismic readings around CenturyLink Field here.
Green 90s.
Play action. Tavares Jackson, trouble in the backfield, and down he goes. Dropped back at the 30-yard line. Jason Babin came in leading the club in sacks, adds another one.
Yeah, and he's working against the tight end, which is a mismatch from a strength perspective. And Zach Miller's doing his best. He's really trying to hang in, but Babin's going to overwhelm him. If the ball goes out on time, they're okay. But he's jacking him right back into Tavares' lap. Really good job by Babin. The ball has to come out more quickly.
Babin, who was third in the conference last year with sacks, 12.5. That was number 11.
Tight.
Back up to the 29-yard line. And Washington goes for about 4. Talking about that run last year. Here's how Marshawn Lynch's run looked. The seismic readings are in the blue. That last one, I think, was Mike Mayock screaming at the end of the play.
You know what I was saying last year? I was screaming, "Get off me! Get off me!" And the same thing happened tonight. In my head, I'm going, "Oh my goodness, Marshawn Lynch! Jamar Chaney, get off me!"
Justin Forsett in the backfield right now for the Seahawks on 3rd down and long.
Don't be surprised to see conservative call here.
Jackson down the middle, low, and caught. Wait a minute.
I didn't hear a whistle.
I didn't either.
And I thought that was incomplete from up here.
The officials are running out as if they're going to spot it. About 3 yards shy of the first down. Here's another look. Oh, that hit the ground.
Clearly hit the ground.
Doug Baldwin, the rookie free agent out of Stanford, did a nice acting job, but that's incomplete.
Yeah, Pete Carroll trying to sneak him out there and punt it.
4th down.
Hey, by the way, Doug Baldwin, what a nice year this kid's having.
Absolutely.
Undrafted free agent, as we just said. 37 catches coming into the year. And what I liked was what Tavares Jackson said about him. Tavares Jackson said, "This is a kid who's so smart, he thinks like a quarterback."
Yeah.
And he instinctively does what I want him to do.
John Ryan, a punt. You saw Deshaun Jackson is a very dangerous return man if you give him a little bit of an avenue. He stands back at the 20-yard line. And again, a wobbly kick. It's going to have to be fair caught and is near the 33-yard line. Only a 34-yard kick in Seattle. Seahawks home field. The fish are flying and they lead by 7. Tonight's aerial coverage is being presented by Southwest Airlines. Eagles had an interception on their first play, a 3-and-out on their second series. Let's see if Vince Young and company can get it going at the 32-yard line. The stretch play to McCoy, and he's got an opening and a big run out to midfield.
You know what? LaShawn McCoy is special, but one of the reasons he is when they go left is because I think Jason Peters is playing better football than any left tackle in the game. Great pass blocker. Look at him in space. Does an easy job kicking out KJ Wright. Key block for LaShawn McCoy.
McCoy, that's his 40th run, Mike, of 10 yards or more. 20 yards that time.
And nobody else even has 30.
In Seahawk territory for the first time of the 48. McCoy is going to have to run for his life just to get back to the line of scrimmage, and he won't. KJ Wright, the rookie linebacker, made the stop.
Ness, I'm down on the field before the game, and we talked with LaShawn last night about his toe. All the coaches were talking about the toe. I watched while he was in sweatpants trying to get this thing loosened up, and while he's taking handoffs from Deuce Staley, the running back coach, you could see him grimacing, could see him struggling. I asked him, "Hey, how you doing?" And he kind of shook his head at me like, "Man, this hurts." So it's going to be interesting to track his progress and see how many quality carries they can get from him tonight.
He stays in there flanking Young in the shotgun on 2nd down at 15. It's Young's first completion. Deshaun Jackson, short game. And it'll bring up 3rd down as we check in with Alex.
Hey, Brad, LaShawn McCoy, as Mike just mentioned, playing with that toe. It's kind of an interesting injury. I talked to the trainers before the game. As you guys probably know, you can't really treat a toe. It's really the joint on the big toe that hurts, so it's not like you can really medicate it. They told me it's really an injury that needs about 6 weeks for him to fully repair it. Of course, he doesn't have that time. It'll be interesting to see how he plays it.
Now it's getting loud in here on 3rd down and 9. And flags down as the Seahawks were showing blitz.
Number
And it
63
made
off.
Danny Watkins jump. Interesting situation on the Eagles side. Very seldom do you have a rookie center and then flanked by a rookie guard. That's what they've got on that side of the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, and the rookie guard was the first-round pick. The center, Jason Kelsey, was a sixth-round pick. And, you know, Brad, before the game, I was talking with Howard Mudd, the offensive line coach. He couldn't stop talking about the intelligence of that center. Look at him making calls out there and helping Vince Young. Really smart kid. Kelsey, right in the middle.
He'll snap it to Vince Young on a third down at 14. Got to be careful on this down. Vince steps up. He's going to throw to his safety valve. Sell the tight end, but he won't get anywhere near the first down marker. Does get it back into Seahawk territory at the 45.
And Brad, I'm going to talk a lot about Jason Peters tonight because I think he's the best tackle in football. He's got a tough one here. A wide defensive end in Chris Clemens doesn't even struggle with it. Just kicks him right past the quarterback. We've seen him in space, Brad. We've seen him in pass pro. He's just as tough in the run game. When motivated and in shape, he has Hall of Fame type credentials.
Rookie punter Chaz Henry set to kick. High and short. Fair catch. Bottled. And covered by Leon Washington. Seahawks with 2:44 remaining in the first quarter. They'll have the ball back with a 7-0 lead. With you in Seattle, where the Seahawks have a 7-0 lead. A Marshawn Lynch 15-yard touchdown run, one of the best we've seen all year. Quick snap, and it's Lynch off the left side. This time they finally bring him down after about a 3-yard gain.
And that's all Pete Carroll really wants, Brad, in this situation. You're backed up a little bit. You've got a 7-0 lead. Keep the clock running. Keep that talented Philadelphia offense to a minimal number of snaps.
Second season for Pete with the Seahawks.
There's that set I talked about. That's Cameron Mara, a really gifted wide tight end that catches the football.
Flags are down as Lynch goes down after a 2-yard gain.
Offside, number 75, lined up in the neutral zone.
That's a free
5-yard
five.
penalty remains second.
Tough place to play if you're the opponent on the road. You go back the last 9 years, Packers, Seahawks, Bears with the best home records, and that's why Pete Carroll took the loss, and he said, we took the loss to the Redskins really hard, but we don't have time to worry about bouncing back. We just have to. That's what they're trying to do tonight. Lost last week 23-17. Lynch following his fullback. Broke one tackle, broke another. Marshawn Lynch across the 30. Bangs his way out to the 35-yard line. He's come to play, hasn't he?
Yeah, he always comes to play, and they had an opportunity to make a tackle in the backfield. I think it was Akeem Jordan, and one of the problems here with this Eagles defense has been the play of the linebackers. Watch the flow of the linebackers. There's the scrape, and here's your ability right there. Make the tackle in the backfield, Akeem Jordan. Got to make that. There's Chaney.
Hey, 5-9!
Darryl Tapp also. Everybody had a shot there, and nobody can bring them down.
Leon Washington in the backfield now as Jackson on play action. Just got to get rid of this thing and found the sideline. Jaquay Parker was applying the pressure.
Yeah, they wanted the tight end who was coming all the way across behind the line of scrimmage, but he got caught in all that garbage.
No
all the
foul for
defensive
intent
linemen and
transfer
offensive
ground.
linemen.
Quarterback's out of the pocket. The ball went beyond the neutral zone. Second down.
Second down at 10. A little over a minute to play in the first quarter. Marshawn Lynch already has 44 yards on the ground. He's getting a breather right now with Leon Washington in there as the tailback in the eye.
Cut! Grenade!
Leon will get the call. He got popped at the line of scrimmage, bounced off, and picked up 3. Akeem Jordan in on the tackle. The Eagles linebackers very young, and that hasn't helped their cause this year. They got the veteran front four, but then in the back end it gets kind of youthful.
And you know what they are, Brad? They're small and quick in that front 7. And you know that wide 9 everybody wants to talk about, and those wide defensive ends, what happens is by alignment, it puts more pressure on the linebackers and safeties to fit the run correctly. Because if you make a mistake in your run fit, there's a much wider lane to run through.
Empty backfield on 3rd and 7. Jackson loads it, goes across the middle, complete on the run as Doug Baldwin got a first down up to the 40-yard line. 21-yard pickup on 3rd and long.
You know, this is where this guy teases you, Tavares Jackson. This is a big-time throw. Watch this. Good job right here. Kick it, pushing him by. Now watch what happens as he throws off his back foot 18 yards down the field on a line and puts it on Baldwin. Ness, there aren't that many guys that can make that throw. The issue with Tavares has always been consistency.
That one was perfect as it brings the first quarter to a close. Seahawks flying on their home field, leading by 7. Marshawn Lynch, a little extra Skittles as we get set to start the second quarter. His touchdown, the only points on the board so far, 7-0. We've got a little helmet issue.
Kurt Coleman, they've struggled at the safety position this year.
First down, Seahawks at the Eagles 40. Lynch cuts outside. He might be gone. He is. Touchdown. Yard sprint to the end zone. Marshawn Lynch, second score of the night.
They are chopping up this Philadelphia Eagles front seven. Watch the tight end here come down. Zach Miller gets on the backer. There's the wind back block right here by Mara. And look at the hole. At this point, it's about acceleration. Nobody's setting the edge for the Philadelphia Eagles. That is just bad run defense.
Marshawn well on his way to a 100-yard night. He caps off an 88-yard drive in 6 plays with a touchdown. Some kind of 16 minutes so far for Marshawn Lynch. Wow, Oscar's extra point is good. Well, we knew he'd be a big part of the offense. We didn't know he'd be the entire offense. 14-0 Seahawks. Seattle sky tonight with 2 touchdown runs, 14-0. Seattle in front of Philadelphia. Oscar the kick, and Dion Lewis and Ronnie Brown are back deep for the Eagles. A stunned Asante Samuel, the only guy that was trying to close the gap on Marshawn Lynch's touchdown run, but he couldn't catch him.
He's got the eye of the tiger tonight, doesn't he?
Yes. Kick's going to go to Lewis at the 3. And he bounces out across the 25 out to the 27-yard line. Marshawn Lynch tonight. This is his first touchdown if you're just joining us. This was at the 15-yard line on 2nd and goal. And he somehow came out of a pile and found the end zone. And then moments ago, capping an 88-yard drive, got a great block from Cameron Mora, his tight end. And then he just outraces everybody for his second. This one from 40 yards out.
Yeah, their 2-back, 2 tight end alignment is killing the Eagles right now.
Philadelphia has been unable to muster any offense so far. They work from the 29-yard line. Young down the middle. Got it to Cooper. A first down throw, a 16-yard pickup out to the 45.
Good route that time by Riley Cooper. He got the defensive back, Richard Sherman, turned around. Watch what happens here. He works him up the field and then creates the separation on the deep in route. You better protect that football because right now, Brad, it's 14-0. You got to get this thing under control because this 12th man in Seattle is loud and they can't wait to get it revved up.
Cooper starting tonight with Jeremy Maclin inactive, the #1 receiver. Jackson trying to find room to run, slides his way to the 50, only about a 4-yard gain.
Good backside discipline that time. Clay Harbor, the tight end, is going to come across and try and hook. I thought Jackson had a chance to get this thing out wide. There's the hook. but he sees these players filling and decides he's got to cut back. But he's going to take a dive right there. And Deshaun Jackson is a lightning rod in Philadelphia right now because of 2 drop touchdown passes a week ago against New England.
Both backs, McCoy and Brown, now come up on a wing, and it's Vince Young in the shotgun. Flushed out of the pocket. Young's going to throw on the run. Got a man wide open. Waiting on it is Cooper. And it's 1st and goal at the 4-yard line.
Wow. Riley Cooper did a great job. He was standing there waving at Vince Young for about 3 seconds.
47-yard pass play. And a stunned secondary of the Seahawks.
You can't give up big chunks like that. You got good pressure. Give Vince Young some credit now. Watch Young buy time. 2 deep safeties. What happens here? You get a nosebleed. You can't do that. When you're a 3rd-level defender, you've got to be deeper than the deepest on your side of the field.
1st and goal for the Eagles just outside the Seahawk 3. LaShawn McCoy in the middle of the pack. And he's down at the 1-yard line.
Man, that's a huge play for the Eagles. On the verge of getting run out of the stadium early, and Vince Young under heavy pressure makes a big play. And if that was Earl Thomas back there at safety, he's the guy that makes a lot of positive.
Inside the Seattle 1. McCoy, touchdown. The Eagles have answered. LaShawn McCoy, his 12th touchdown run of the year.
Yeah, I thought Leroy Hill had a chance to make a play there, and he didn't wrap up. But good blocking up front. Watch what happens as 56 fast flows here. He's got a one-on-one opportunity right in the hole, right here. No wrap-up, touchdown.
Alex Henry in for the point after. And with 11:43 remaining in the half, the Eagles have answered. First it was Riley Cooper on a long reception. LaShawn McCoy for the 12th time this year finds the end zone, 14-7. Stay tuned at halftime for the Kia Motors halftime show. Donovan McNabb, who was released by the Vikings today, is going to be with Rich and the guys live. And we'll break down the first half of tonight's game. That's coming up. Kia halftime, which is 11 minutes and 43 seconds from now. Not quite that warm in Seattle, guys. I'm sorry.
And get the weight room before you take that shirt off, please.
And this kick will not be returned. We'll bring it out to the 20-yard line. LaShawn McCoy, bad toe and all, with a 1-yard touchdown. Got some great blocking from Owen Schmidt, the fullback. Got a couple of guys. Marshawn Lynch, they're trying to keep him warm on the sideline. So our tailbacks tonight have been the story so far.
Not much of a surprise from the Seattle side. Let's give Vince Young some credit, though, for extending that play and making the throw to Riley Cooper. That really was the play that got the Philadelphia Eagles back into this football game.
47-yarder, and as you said, Riley Cooper couldn't get that ball fast enough. And dropped for a loss is Leon Washington. Let's check in with Alex.
Hey, Brad, well, that LaShawn McCoy touchdown was just what the Eagles sideline needed, gave them a big spark here. Andy Reid has been really rallying his troops throughout the night as much as I've ever seen him. Remember, this team comes in off of a hard week, a big loss on Sunday to the Eagles, saying, to the Patriots, saying that they needed to look at this game as a playoff game amid reports of dissension and what might happen. I think the jury's still out, but that touchdown certainly helped.
Yep, Andy called it a great challenge. He said that's the only way we can look at it. The challenge is still in front of him as Tobias Jackson whips it out to Golden Tate. And Golden, who forgotten that he was in the starting lineup on the first series, remembers there with a reception. An 8-yard lateral, actually. I'm going to call that a run by Golden Tate.
And Brad, do you remember the position Golden played when he went to Notre Dame?
He was a running back.
He was a running back. So it's been difficult for him to learn how to run routes. He's a raw, explosive kid. However, once he gets the ball in his hands, he's special.
Marshawn Lynch continuing to try to Work out the kinks over there on the sideline. He's got the 2 touchdowns tonight so far for the home team. Jackson in the shotgun. Look out. Lobs it out. Completes. Golden Tate. Now he's turning into a running back. Golden Tate across midfield to the 49. And a 25-yard pickup on what looked like disaster on the snap.
Safety Kurt Coleman comes wide open right up the middle. Watch what a great job Jackson does. Now, I don't understand why they're playing soft and off with a blitz. It gives the quarterback an opportunity to get rid of the football, and then Golden Tate right here. Why are you playing so far off? That's the safety, Allen, who's coming from too far away to try and make up the tackle.
Deion Butler checks in at wide receiver to the top of your screen to give Golden Tate a breather. And straight up the middle, Justin Forsett goes for 6 before Kurt Coleman made the tackle. A little bit of everybody getting into the act now.
Yeah, and obviously they still hope that Marshawn Lynch is going to be their guy, but Forsett's the change of pace guy from the same college, the University of California. Quicker than fast, but Brad, it's that front right now. Gallery, Unger, McQuiston, Giacomini, and Oakland.
That time, Forsett met in the hole and lost a couple.
That was the other front. The Eagles are a lot more aggressive in this series. I think Juan Castillo, the beleaguered defensive coordinator, is bringing more people up to try and stop run. As soon as he gets the football, look at the hit by Jamar Chaney.
Chaney in only his 2nd year out of Mississippi State. Brian Roll, a rookie from Ohio State. Hakeem Jordan's the old man of the group in the linebacking corps. He's only been around 5 years.
And remember, they started Casey Matthews, the rookie, in the middle at the beginning of the year. Moses Foku. They've really had a lot of reshuffling at that position.
3rd down, a long 5. And flags.
False start. Number 33 offense.
On Leon Washington.
5-yard penalty, still down.
Again, penalties. Around 9.5 a game. That's too many.
105 in 11 games, and that drives a coach crazy. It's hard enough to win when you play a clean game, let alone shoot yourself in the foot continuously.
So now it's 3rd down and a long 10.
Changes the whole dynamic of 3rd down.
Jackson on the throw, a slip screen to Golden Tate. Tate broke 1 tackle, but he won't get away from the rest. Got to the 45. It's going to be 4th down and 6.
Good hustle by Cullen Jenkins, the defensive tackle, who I think is maybe as gifted a pass rusher as an interior guy as there is in this league. He broke down and forced Tate back to the inside.
So it'll force a John Ryan punt. Chad Hall goes back this time as the punt returner instead of Deshaun Jackson.
He's only had 1 return this year for 9 yards.
Ryan's kick, fair catch, called for and taken back around the 9-yard line. So, Eagles have got the ball back, trailing by a touchdown. Marshawn Lynch, a couple of touchdown runs tonight for his efforts. He gets his Skittles, the Candyman. Let's check in with Alex.
Hey, Brad, I'm watching Marshawn Lynch right now. He's running up and down the sideline. One was not in on the Seahawks last offensive series. They're being told that he has an upset stomach, maybe from the Skittles, maybe because this is a big game for the Seahawks.
He might want to just eat some soda crackers and a glass of milk or something. LaShawn McCoy gets out to the 15-yard line.
Hey, listen, I'm not buying it. Candy's good for you.
Well, you are the junk eater of all time.
I was in the Seahawks lobby yesterday, and Jill, the lobbyist, had this big thing full of candy, and I probably had 10 to 15 Hershey bars waiting for the coaches.
I went with
pretty healthy.
I went with the gummy lifesavers myself.
Okay. Seahawks had 2 high safeties that last snap. McCoy took advantage of it for about 7.
2nd down and 3 at the 15. Play action. Young throws it back in the middle. Wanted to go to Clay Harbor, the tight end, and threw it behind him. And Clay never had a chance. 3rd down.
Yeah, I always thought the Eagles were one of the best screen teams in the league. And what happens is Harbor is going to come from the wing and look to set up over the middle for a screen. The ball's thrown behind him. I haven't seen a whole lot of screen game from the Eagles from the tape I've watched, and I thought Washington did a nice job last week against the Seahawks. 3 big screens in the first half alone.
Third down. Riley Cooper's been the #1 receiver tonight for the Eagles. He's in the slot up at the top of your screen. Vince Young throws across the middle again behind the intended.
Did a real nice job. Watch when Hall clears. He's just sitting here waiting for him. Sees the crossing route. It's thrown poorly and behind him off the back foot. Vince Young's got to stand in there, and I know he's getting some heat, but you got to put it on.
Jazz Henry to punt. Leon Washington might get a bead on this one and be able to return it. High, deep kick this time. Washington will have a shot from the 31. Flags down immediately. Washington weaving his way out to the 46-yard line. Didn't take long for that penalty marker to come flying in. He had barely caught the punt.
Colt Anderson is down. One of the better special teams
During
players
the kick,
for the Eagles.
Holding. Number 25, the receiving team. 10-yard penalty. First down. Timeout.
So that's going to negate a nice punt return by Washington. Eagles and the Seahawks, battle of birds tonight. So far, Seattle leads by 7. 14-7, Seattle. You talk about penalty problems, Mike, and hidden yardage. There goes 25 yards on what would have been a punt return out to the 46 instead of there at the 21.
Can't continually do what the Seahawks have done so far from a penalty perspective. It's going to kill you sooner or later.
Marshawn Lynch back in there, gets the handle. Got out to the 21.
I'm hoping Colt Anderson is okay. I'm going to talk about a tough kid from the University of Montana. It's the closest place that his family could come see him play. He's got over 200 friends and family here tonight. 200, and he just got hurt on that last punt return. I think he's one of the hardest working special teams players in the league.
Into the locker room right now. Mars Jackson hasn't had to throw a lot tonight because of this guy. Lynch, another tough run, 4 more to the 26. Lamar Chaney, leading tackler for Philadelphia, in on the stop.
You know, Paul McQuiston, the right guard, is in for the rookie third-round pick, John Moffitt. Watch him just pull out. He's kind of an NFL journeyman along with Giacomini, but good pull in the hole. Nice job. And Marshawn Lynch is a north-south runner that can make you miss, and they're chopping up this Eagle team on the ground.
Jackson now in the shotgun. Mike Williams, his biggest target, is down to the bottom of your screen. They haven't laid one out for him yet, but here it comes. And down it goes.
Now, Asamoah is down. If anything, I thought that was offensive pass interference. And again, Kurt Coleman came clean, and the quarterback had to just throw it up to Boris Jackson. Same exact look with Coleman coming untouched. Pass protection issue. Tavares Jackson just throws it up in the air in great position inside out by the defensive back Asamoah. To me, that's offensive pass interference. And Brad, I'm so tired of that not getting called. Can't tell what position I played.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say that's a DB's perspective, and there's the DB down who's an all-pro. The biggest free agent acquisition probably in the entire league, and the head coaches even come out to have a look. Pete Carroll in the mix with his team, and Andy Reid out to have a look at Nnamdi Asomugha. Again, here's another look at another angle. Kind of plants his feet, and then Williams just lands on him.
Yeah, it looks like he grabs his head, and we always hate to speculate on injuries and let it play out, but Williams being aggressive, that's a big boy. That's about 240 pounds coming down on the helmet.
And we'll check on Nnamdi when we come back. 14-7 with over 5 minutes remaining in the half. And still a huddle way down there on the field at CenturyLink Field. Nnamdi Asomugha, the all-pro corner, and now they've got him at least seated, and he's still holding on to his face mask and his head after being landed on by, as Mike said, Mike Williams, maybe one of the biggest wide receivers in the league.
There's some Cal guys hanging out there. Sean Jackson and Marshawn Lynch.
Nabi's up. We'll wait to see if he returns to that secondary for the Eagles. Next week, we're going to be in Pittsburgh. I think it's cool tonight. It'll probably be colder next week.
Can't wait to see these guys play. Those Josh Cribbs.
Ben Roethlisberger, Big Ben. Steelers out to defend their AFC North title. Steelers and Browns next Thursday. Hope you join us 8 o'clock Eastern on NFL Network.
Now, Asamoah's walking off the field, so what does that do to the Eagles' defense? It probably brings Hansen in, Joselio Hansen, who Brad typically is the nickel. And because he's typically the nickel, then if Asamoah can't go back in, you'll get Hughes or Curtis Marsh coming in also.
Deshaun Jackson now back in punt return formation this time on the kick from John Ryan. And Jackson is going to have to call for a fair catch and takes it at the 28-yard line. It has been a very strange year for Andy Reid and the Philadelphia Eagles.
Everything went well for us. Hats off to the coaching staff. They did an awesome job preparing for that game.
Start making your vacation plans because this team is just horrible.
Can't watch these games on Sunday anymore.
This is a colossal failure this year.
Finally, a day where we can actually celebrate and have some fun.
I've seen some bad football film in my life. This takes the cake. Andy Reid, you're fired.
Well, you live there, Mike. You heard all this stuff.
Yeah, I grew up in West Philadelphia, and here's my take. In 12 years, he's been to 9 playoffs. There's only one team with more, and that's Indianapolis. Let's give a guy a break and let him play the season out and see what this team does.
Vince Young double clutches, fires down the middle, and completes it. It's going to be close to a first down to Jason Abund. That's what we were talking about, Andy Reid. The results, pretty impressive, actually, for a guy who's getting hounded in his 13th season. Only Jeff Fisher and Bud Grant have won more games without winning a championship. However, that's what's stuck in the craw of the Eagles fans.
And that's the whole thing. And here's what I say. Sometimes that voice loses its credibility when you're in the locker room for 10 or more years. However, let's see what happens. Let the season play out. See if they're playing hard.
Good run that time by LaShawn McCoy. You know, you talk to all the Eagles, and we talked to quite a few of them, and Asante Samuel, I think, is going to echo what we're talking about playing for their coach, Andy Reid.
All the players, we love Coach Reid. You know, we love to play hard for him. He's a wonderful coach, wonderful guy. You know, we would never want to see anything bad happen to him or any of the players. So, you know, we definitely support him 100%, and we got his back.
Trying to win on the road in a tough place, trailing by 7.
Brad, the only way to have his back is to win football games. It's a bottom line profession.
Second down and 3. Young off play action, steps up in the pocket. And now he's going to take off. Broke one tackle, not the second, however. Got a yard, but staying with it was K.J. Wright to make the tackle.
Yeah, Clemens kind of forced it. Good job, though, by K.J. Wright, who's a rookie out of Mississippi State. Young extending the play again. Pressure, steps up inside Red Bryant. Eyes downfield. There's Clemens. Forces him back in. I like the athleticism of K.J. Wright. And when I asked defensive coordinator Gus Bradley, any pleasant surprises this year? He said absolutely. K.J. Wright allowed us to trade Aaron Curry to Oakland.
Big third down here for the Eagles late in the second quarter. Young lobs one, incomplete. He had a guy open his tight end, sell it, but he threw it too far in front of him. So the Seahawks are going to get it back with a little under 3 minutes to go.
Here's Jackson working Browner. This is who he wanted the whole time. Remember, this is one of the fastest men in the league. He has inside position, not even looking for the football. Look at Vince's head is to the left. He wants to throw it to Deshaun Jackson, who's not even looking for the football. I don't get that disconnect.
Brings out the punting unit. Henry, his deepest kick of the night. Duty. Not when he wanted one, though. Not get into the end zone.
Duty.
54-yard kick, and they'll bring it out to the 20-yard line. There's Vince Young talking to the guy that he did want. Coming up Sunday on NFL Game Day morning, Carson Palmer's going to sit down and discuss whether the Raiders are heading to the playoffs for the first time since 2002. Catch NFL Game Day morning, Sunday starting at 9 Eastern on NFL Network. And there's the man who will bring it for you, and there's the guy who will be along at halftime. Rich Eisen and the guys. Kia halftime report is a little under 3 minutes away.
I think Carson Palmer's a great story. You know, you and I covered that second game of his, or third, whatever it was. He's playing lights out right now.
Marshawn Lynch has been playing lights out in this first half, got 4 more yards. Let's check in with Alex.
And we just watched Nnamdi Asomugha being taken to the locker room. It was a little bit woozy. The Eagles are calling it a neck injury. They're also evaluating him right now for a head injury. His return, they're calling questionable right now. Also, Mike, your guy Colt Anderson, unfortunately, the special teams player, out for the rest of this game with a knee injury.
Oh, that is terrible for the whole family here. Wishing the best rehabbing that. Lars Jackson flips it out in the flat. Michael Robinson, the fullback, second catch of the first half. Michael came in with 3 catches. He's got 2 in the first half.
And you remember what position he played in college, right? Yeah, man. He's a tough. Now look, it's 2 backs, 2 tight ends again. Tight end, they're causing problems here. 2 backs, 22 personnel, play action, and the linebacker Jordan can't get there in time.
That
wasn't even a heavy play action.
Timeout at the 2-minute warning. 1:59 exactly. Seahawks up 7.
Rich Eisen here in the end zone, walking out of the end zone to let you know that the halftime show is coming up. Donovan McNabb, certainly a man of the hour, getting released by the Vikings. He will join us at the half.
All right, Rich, we'll see you in 2 minutes. They actually put a second back on the clock, so we're right at 2 minutes. Marshawn Lynch during the 2-minute warning basically had his own pit crew over there. I mean, they were changing tires, or you give them a little bit of air in the back. You got, I guess, a new chin strap, and it took. There comes the air. Yeah, check your tires.
Who's in charge of Skittles?
Tavares Jackson on play action, lobs it across the middle, complete. Tight end Cameron Moore. Beg your pardon, Zach Miller. 28-yard pickup.
See Tavares Jackson laughing. He's loving it. I thought Russell Okung, the left tackle, did a great job in protection. Really good on tap right there. Look at the pocket set up, and then I love the crossing route and touch. This is the second real good ball from Tavares Jackson because he put some air under it. He let the tight end, Zach Miller, run with the football. Tavares Jackson is in control tonight.
Back to the ground game. That time Marshawn Lynch can't break free. Derek Landry made the stop. Marshawn's had a lot of yards after contact, but not that time.
No, Landry did a great job penetrating that A gap. Very aggressive play. Now, this is where, Brad, you want to get at least a field goal, right? It's a 14-7 game situation with 1:26. It's 2nd and 12. You don't want to force anything. Worst case scenario, you punt. Best case scenario, you get points on the board. Don't force it.
2nd and 13. Quick drop by Jackson. Comes back the other way inside the 35. And Golden Tate mauled there. That'll bring up 3rd down, at least a manageable down.
Timeout.
A little over a minute.
Seattle,
they take the timeout. Seattle.
A 30-second timeout.
The first of 3 timeouts and 1:07 remaining.
He wanted Cam Ramar to his left. Now look at him shift the eyes back right, reset his feet, get his hips aligned, and get the ball out. That's something, Brad, that 3 years ago, probably 2 years ago, he'd have never been able to do. I like the poise so far tonight from Tavares Jackson. And from a management perspective here in Seattle, Brad, one of their big decisions is going to be that position. You know, they traded for Charlie Whitehurst 2 years ago. He hasn't been the answer. Tavares Jackson, they paid $4 million. They brought his teammate Sidney Rice. If they're not able to determine who their quarterback in the future is, they're going to have to draft one.
Yeah, the Kia halftime show coming up. Rich and the guys will talk to Donovan McNabb, former Eagle. Tavares Jackson, a former Viking. Donovan McNabb now a former Viking. Quick throw. Only to the 31, though, for Benjamin Obamanu. And Jamar Chaney made the tackle. Now they're going to try to get Hotchkiss set up for a long field goal attempt. 52 yards is his longest this year. This is going to be a 49-yard attempt. And Pete Carroll saying, guys, just hold on. Use as much time as you can.
And that's smart. They've also had one field goal block this year. They'll run this clock all the way down. There it is.
Timeout, Seattle, second team timeout. A 30-second timeout.
So the Seahawks trying to add 3 more on. Hotchkiss on the season is 17 out of 20. Moments ago, Vince Young on the sideline appears to be talking to Deshaun Jackson. I'm not sure if he was listening or not.
We talked a minute ago about Deshaun Jackson and his future in Philadelphia with his contract up, dropping 2 footballs a week ago, and I think Alex Flanagan has a little more on the field.
Yeah, Mike, it's interesting you guys point that out because it's really been the case all night long right now. Deshaun sitting by himself on the bench, really not paying attention to anybody, has not talked to any of his teammates virtually all night.
That's what you call disconnected.
And he's an enigmatic guy. You know, he had first-round talent who went in the second round because of perceived off-field issues. And he's in a contract year. He had a bad week a week ago. Philadelphia's exploding with him right now.
Hotchkiss will try 49-yard field goal. And he has got it. 3 more for the Seahawks. Nice late second quarter drive by Seattle. Now we got a fight going on the field. And the officials try to separate everybody.
A little chippy tonight, huh?
Yeah,
like
I guess
the third
so.
time.
I don't see that many fights break out after a field goal. I don't. At any rate.
How much clearance do we have there?
Plenty.
Yep. Good kick by Hauschka. Good kick.
So 17-7. Mike talked about Deshaun Jackson and the drop passes in the game last week, and I know one of those stuck in your craw all week long.
Yeah, we've got 3 here. Now, that's a tough catch right there. You see him ducking away from the hit. This is the one I don't like. 3rd and goal from the 5-yard line. Contact is coming. He ducks, doesn't catch the football. This is a bang-bang play. The safety gets a hand in late. He should have had it, but those last 2 throws bother me a little bit, but the one in the middle bothers me the most. And that's one where you got to look your teammates in the eyes and say, I should have made that play. It won't happen again.
1 catch tonight for 5 yards. Eagles are going to get it back, but they don't have much time to work with.
And that disconnect we just saw with Vince Young looking deep, Jackson's head not even turning around. And I'm not trying to say it was his fault, but I don't get the disconnect.
Hotchkiss squibs one. And is it going to make it out of bounds?
Yeah, let it go.
It did go out of bounds. So,
Kickoff out of bounds by rule.
That's going to give them great field position.
40-yard line.
They still have
first down Philadelphia.
2 timeouts as they work from the 40.
And there we go again with Seattle on a penalty. I mean, I thought Ronnie Brown was about to pick it up right there. And luckily for him and Philadelphia, Ronnie did the sideline dance and decided to let it go.
So now the Eagles still have 16 seconds to work. Jackson, who we were just talking about, goes out wide to the left side, and then a trio of receivers to Vince Young's right. In trouble. Young scrambling, throws as he's going down.
No foul for intentional ground. 2nd down.
So they get another play. 8 seconds remaining.
Young, little spin move of his own, getting away from Raheem Brock, a Philadelphia guy from Temple. Out sprints, trying to get away from Hargrove.
Well, last time Vince Young got together with Pete Carroll, he was faster than that when he was at Texas against USC in the Rose Bowl for the national championship.
He's a little different kind of player now. He prefers the pocket than running around.
See if they have 1 play or 2 left. Vince scrambles, wants to throw. Now he's going to pull it down, try to get to the sideline, and did with 1 second left.
About the 47-yard line. Add 7 is 54. It'll be a 64-yard attempt if they think they can kick a field goal.
And that would be with a rookie kicker whose longest this year is 47. So they might just have to take a long shot here on a Hail Mary in the final play of the half.
It looks like.
Yep.
And Seattle only has about 17 guys deep here. Look back there. They got 3 guys rushing and 8 guys about as deep as they can get.
Barring a penalty, final play of the half. From the Seahawks 47. Vince Young loads it and goes deep. Cooper trying to jump up there and get to it, but nobody got to it. And the half ends. Don't forget, Rich and the guys with a Kia halftime show and a chat with Donovan McNabb. The Eagles on the road trailing the Seahawks by 10, 17-7 Seattle.
Every time a football player goes to play,
Young on the scramble, picked off.
he has to play from the ground up.
Lynch, second ever, touchdown!
From the soles of his feet
right up to the top of his head.
Every inch of him has to play.
LaShawn McCoy's special.
Some guys play with their heads. More importantly, you have to play with your heart.
40-yard sprint.
The object is to win.
The Eagles have answered.
To beat the other guy.
Seahawks 17-7 before we kick off the second half. Reminder, you can follow your favorite teams all season long on iTunes.com/NFL. Brad Nessler, Mike Mack, Alex Flanagan joins us in a second. Partner, over 18 minutes time of possession. 6 plays of 20 plus for Seattle. Most of them are Marshawn Lynch.
And what Pete Carroll tell us yesterday, 35 to 40 rushes are on target with 18 for 113. And really Marshawn Lynch has been the guy. Watch the 2 tight end alignment here. Mara on the left, Zach Miller on the right. Wide 9 alignment. 1 linebacker, 1 tight end gets on the linebacker, the other gets the wide 9 defensive end. That opens up a huge hole for Marshawn Lynch. His speed takes it away. Touchdown, Seattle.
So he was the star of the first half. We'll see if the Eagles can make a comeback. Vince Young started strong, but he's only hit 1 of his last 6 passes in that first half. Dion Lewis awaits the second half kickoff with Ronnie Brown in the end zone.
And partner, keep in mind the only big play for the Eagles offensively came off a busted play where, let's face it, Vince Young extended the play and made something happen.
Right. Oscar's kickoff. 5 yards deep. Dion Lewis bringing it out. Lewis across the 20 and out to the 25, 30-yard return. Let's check in with Alex.
Hey, Brad, while the Eagles are seemingly on the verge of having the wheels fall off, meanwhile, the Seattle Seahawks are exactly where they want to be. Pete Carroll coming into this game saying that he wanted to find consistency in their run game. They have done that exactly where he wants to be, and they've been able to stop the run as well. Pete Carroll saying that if they can take care of the ball, he thinks that they can win, or he knows that they can win this game, Brad.
Alex almost took one in the head from the first down marker. McCoy, blockers in front. McCoy out to the 40. One of the better looking plays of the night offensively for the Eagles to pick up a 15.
We talked in the first half about screen passes. And again, I thought they've always been one of the better screen teams in the league. McCoy sneaks out right over there. Look at the offensive lineman in front. 63, Watkins. Kelsey, 62. Herremans gets a great block at the point of attack. That is a well-timed route. Good hands by Shady McCoy. They put the ball away. How about he hasn't had a fumble in 400 and some carries, yet he does hold it loosely at times.
Bring in 428 without a fumble. He's carried it several times tonight, carrying it again. And a pickup of 12 with another first down. Cam Chancellor made a stop, but not before McCoy got into Seahawk territory.
Yeah, well blocked, good run, great cutback by Shady McCoy. Look at this guy, 14 touchdowns, 40 runs over 10. Nobody in the league has even 30, Brad. And then look how tough he is, 428 touches without a fumble. To me, that means you can do everything. You're explosive, you're quick, you're tough. You don't put the ball on the ground.
Lines up with Vince Young and the Eagle backfield on a first down at the 47. And Vince is going to take off and slide out to the 40-yard line and pick up a 7 or 8.
Chris Clemens is a pretty talented defensive end who loves to play here because of the crowd noise. Watch the jump he's going to get here. He beats Herremans on the snap, and this forces Young out of the pocket immediately. good job by the veteran quarterback, Young.
When Vince hit the slide, they marked him at the 41-yard line. So it's 2nd down and 4. Two tight ends set for the Eagles. McCoy on the stretch play, trying to bust through the other side. Going to be close to the first down, but a little bit short. Brandon Mebane made the tackle.
Talking to Howard Mudd before the game, he said one of the things they're working with Shady McCoy on is when they run that play that you just call the stretch drag, which I was pretty impressed with. Nice job by you, by the way. That was pretty good. But you got to run the green grass. He cuts it back sometimes too early, and Howard Mudd said, green grass is your friend. Keep taking it out there. Don't cut it back too early. And if there's anybody in this league that I love listening to talk about offensive line play, it's Howard Mudd.
He got it out of that green grass that they gave him the first down. Right at the 37-yard line. McCoy trying to get to the edge this time and can't. Chris Clemens, nice play by the defensive end.
You notice anything coming out of halftime? An emphasis maybe on LaShawn McCoy.
Running the ball.
Let's get, if I'm the Eagles, let's get the football to LaShawn McCoy. Selleck at the point of attack. Good hustle by Clemens from behind. Really good hustle. Puts the ball away. Clemens jumps up.
Right into Andy Reid's face.
I'm not sure that's real smart.
No.
I don't know if you can call that a taunt or not. Big Red doesn't like it.
Andy's got thick skin. He coaches in Philadelphia.
That was Brad Nessler, folks, not Mike Van.
2nd and 10. Pass over the middle behind Clay Harbor a little bit. And he dropped it.
Got to catch that football. 2nd year out of Missouri State.
Vince has had a few throws tonight that, as you said, off the back foot. And this one's got to be caught, though.
Yeah, I mean, that's low, and he's not the most accurate quarterback. He's never been a precise quarterback. But let's face it, you got to catch that football.
The Eagles haven't converted a 3rd down tonight. They got 3rd and 10 here.
Tight bunch up here. They like explosion plays out of that bunch.
Jackson was in motion toward the ball. Young got blasted as he threw, and it's intercepted. Off the hands of Cooper, and it's Brandon Browner coming the other way. Got a convoy in front of him. All the way to the 30-yard line.
This is a great throw by Vince Young. And he gets lit up in the backfield. Riley Cooper has to catch the football. I don't get it.
Off of Cooper's hands into Brandon Browner, who took it 55 yards the other way. At return, Riley Cooper is saying, why didn't I hold on to the football?
And they had it going. They come out of the locker room, you get LaShawn McCoy going, you feed him, you go down the field, catch the football, you have the ball on the 15-yard line.
Remember, the Seahawks have already taken advantage of one interception tonight and turned it into a touchdown. Can they do it again? At the 30-yard line, Marshawn Lynch, no gain on this one. Let's take you back to the interception on a catchable pass.
Watch what's it. You got Leroy Hill here and a safety blitz with Earl Thomas. Vince Young does a wonderful job, A, getting rid of the football, and B, putting it right on him. Now, Riley Cooper, all you got to do is catch the football, and it's 1st and 10 on the 15-yard line. Instead, you get a 55-yard differential, and Seattle's ball on the opposite 30.
We're at 2nd down at 10. More of the tight end in motion. The run comes back the other way to Marshawn Lynch, spinning his way for 7 or 8. Now in the second effort, down to the 22-yard line.
You know, one of my pet peeves with the Eagles this year on tape has been they're just not a good tackling team. We've seen it several times tonight. This time I think it's Kurt Coleman, the safety. Now you got a chance to make a play in the open field right here. Drops his head, misses the tackle. That's an extra 7 yards. Great cut, by the way. Good spin move. But you got to make these tackles. Bad angles, bad tackles.
3rd down, a long yard. Lynch has got the first down. And a bunch more down to the 15 or very close to it. And that puts him over 100 yards on the night.
Seattle's fired up. They're dominating at the line of scrimmage. And, Brad, when I went to training camp this summer with the Eagles, everybody was enamored with the dream team. And defensively, what I saw was a young linebacker group who really didn't know what they were doing yet, and a young group of safeties that were going to struggle. And that's what's happened, how it's played out this season.
3 tight ends set in there on first down.
If we got train coming, we got train coming.
At the 16-yard line. Play action. Jackson flushed. Fakes the throw, and then he gets hammered. Back at the 22 or 23-yard line by Babin. That's going to be his second sack of the night.
And that's a little deceiving. Marshawn Lynch did a great job picking up blitz that time and helping extend that play.
Zach Miller, the tight end, shaking up on the play.
This kid, watch the block by 24 Lynch. Great job, buys your quarterback some time. Hustle by Babin. It's a 17-7 ball game. We'll be back.
Here's the hit on Zach Miller that injured the Seattle tight end. Brian Roll, the linebacker, an earhole job on Zach Miller. Now second down at 16 now, back at the 22. Lynch on a cutback. Marshawn Lynch inside the 15, diving forward. Another 11-yard gain, and he's got 115 yards on the ground. Marshawn Lynch having another big night, his 4th 100-yard-plus game of the season.
Look at Mara. This is the same play, and there's the one tight end on the backer. Here's Mara on the wide 9. The cut inside by Lynch and straight arm, chopping them apart. Ness.
Babin's got to be going, can somebody please keep number 88 away from me?
You know what he needs to do? He needs to get his head on a swivel and locate him himself. Okay, that's his job.
He's got a couple of sacks tonight, but he's been sacked a couple times by more of the tight end.
Got to know that's coming.
3rd and 5. Jackson lobs to the end zone. Caught. Touchdown. Wow. Golden Tate.
You notice the dance? He didn't go to the ground here this week. Look at the extension, the leaping ability. 1 foot, 2 feet. He's in. Controls the football all the way through. He's working on Joselio Hansen, who's a small slot defender in their nickel package. Control all the way through the catch. And remember, I told you last week against Washington, caught a ball in the 4th quarter, made it 17-7, but then he got up and did a dumb thing by going to the ground and got a 15-yard penalty. Great job by Colton Tate.
Hotchka in for the point after. It's up and good. And the Seahawks go out to a 24-7 lead. So Brandon Browner's 55-yard interception return set him up at the 30. The last 11 was Vince Young, or Tavares Jackson rather, to Golden Tate for the score. Beautiful shot of downtown Seattle. Tonight's aerial coverage presented by Southwest Airlines. Golden Tate had a season-high 3 catches against Baltimore earlier this year. He's got 4 tonight, and that was against Hansen, who was in there for Nabi Asamoah, who was injured earlier. And Tate with a touchdown catch made it 24-7. Deep kick. This one won't be returned by Dion Lewis.
Okay, Ness, here's my take on this whole thing now, Ness. The Eagles' season's either going to come together or fall apart right now. Okay? You're 4-7. You're on the road. It's cold. It's loud.
You got 23 minutes to do something about it.
Exactly. At this point right now, you're going to find out something about the Philadelphia Eagles right now.
Turnovers to start the first quarter and the third quarter both led to 14 points off interceptions and subsequent touchdowns by the Seahawks.
You're going to battle back, or are we going to give up? What's the deal here, Philly?
Young throws a quick slant to Cooper. And he hangs on to this one. Across the 25 and the 27.
Right back to Riley Cooper.
Cooper again getting the start tonight because Jeremy Maclin not active tonight, leading receiver for the Eagles. Everything's got to be a little more rapid pace too. You don't want to waste a lot of time in the huddle.
No question.
McCoy got outside, got the first down. Looked like he was going to be trapped in the backfield, and he made something out of it.
Yeah, Red Bryant beat Todd Herman's inside. Should have made the tackle. This is all Shady McCoy right here. This is a great job. Watch the inside move here. Red Bryant right there, make a tackle. This guy here LaShawn McCoy, and I hate saying this, he's only in his third year, but I see some Barry Sanders with the lateral quickness, the jump cuts, the ability to break people's ankles. He's a special tailback in this league.
Got him a first down at the 32 on that last run. They fake it to him here. Young in trouble. Vince is going to have to run with it. He's got maybe a first down. I think he does. You talked about LaShawn McCoy and the similarities with Barry Sanders, and that's saying a lot. But when you watch him, Barry in his prime here against the Packers, and that, oops, same sort of move, only coming the other way. Okay, how about this one? That left John Lynch holding nothing but air.
What this one though?
Yeah, that's good too.
Bang! Watch the freeze, man.
Reggie White. Reggie, where were you, Reggie?
Look at this one.
Up, oh! See, there's similarity. That's a pretty good call by you. Young, plenty of time, wide open. Finally gets one to Deshaun Jackson in some space. He got 6 yards out of it.
And how about getting tackled one-on-one in the open field by rookie Richard Sherman? You said it right. Athlete in space. The advantage should be with the guy with the ball. Good tackle by Richard Sherman.
Sean McCoy, 10-plus yards and basically 20% of his carries. Highest since Barry Sanders as we continue the comparison.
Yeah, and I don't want to go overboard. We're talking about a Hall of Fame running back versus a third-year guy. But that's kind of who I see when I see his lateral jump cuts.
Empty backfield. Young pressured. Throws across the middle of Cooper. He made the catch. Forward progress is going to be close to a first down. Eagles have got something moving here. 5:20 remaining third quarter. Down 17. Back in Seahawk territory. We'll wait and see if this is a first down.
Catches it. It looks like he's over that yellow line that always is unofficial. Good tackle by Earl Thomas.
Give it to him at the 47. First and 10.
Like to see Riley Cooper come back after the drop and make 2 catches on the next drive. It looks like he's limping a little bit too.
Eagles with 2 costly interceptions tonight. One Vince Young's fault, the other one not. And now we're going to have to call a timeout.
Timeout, Philadelphia. First
that
team
could be costly too.
Yeah, that's not good.
4:45 remaining third quarter. Seahawks in command.
He's been the hottest thing going since about 9th grade.
Yeah, that too. Vince Young, pressure off the corner, down he goes. The ball is out as well.
KJ Wright coming off the edge, untouched. Tight end, watch him come right off the edge here, untouched. KJ Wright, tight end releases. Nobody in the backfield to block. Vince Young sees it immediately.
Leroy Hill was coming too, so the back had to pick up one linebacker or the other. Couldn't get them both.
Got to get the ball out high.
You saw the ball come out, but Vince was able to scoop it up. Second down and 13. Back at midfield. A little quick opening draw. McCoy inside the 45. Tripped up at the 38-yard line. Going to be about a yard shy of the first down.
I like the call, even though it was second long. You know why? Look at the 2 high safeties up here. You got a numbers advantage at the line of scrimmage. The Eagles took advantage of that. They run him inside. Peters gets a block, and they get right up the field. That's a good call, utilizing your best football player, getting him in space, and that's giving you a chance to make a third down.
The biggest third down of the game so far for Philadelphia. They've got to keep the drive going. They've only got 3.5 to play in the third, and they're down 17. McCoy behind his fullback, trying to get to the edge, and now he's going to try to come back the other way. And he's got some blockers.
His quarterback
inside the 30 and a first down.
Vince Young got a heck of a block right on the cutback there, partner. What did Howard Mudd say? Look for the green space?
Yep.
He couldn't find it to his right. There he is. No. Here comes Cam Chancellor. I'm going back to my left. Look at Vince Young right here. Bang. Watch the hit. Way to go, Vince. That wins you points in the locker room right there. Good hit.
I think if McCoy would have stayed outside, he might have scored. But he does cut it back in and got a crucial first down at the 29-yard line.
So you're a Howard Mudd advocate, right?
I like that one.
Green grass.
Ronnie Brown in to give him the break, and Ronnie off and rolling as he takes it to the 23.
Okay, the Eagles showing some fur here. I like it.
Ronnie Brown, former Dolphin Pro Bowler. Third all-time still on the Dolphins. There's Howard. Third all-time on the Dolphins rushing list, and does a nice job on that play to give LaShawn McCoy a little breather. 10th play of the Eagles drive.
Go, go, go.
Ronnie coming the other way, and that cuts back to the middle of the field. He's got a first down. Whoops. It's been that way since about the first snap of the game tonight for 2, 4, and 7 teams, I think, trying to take their frustration out on each other.
You made a comment earlier, Brad, about special teams never have fights. At halftime, I had 3 text messages from special teams coaches in the league telling me that every special teams play, there's a fight.
I was wrong.
Just so you know, people are listening, pal.
That's good. I like that.
Oh, yeah.
The Eagles in the red zone here. First down at the 18. Young, plenty of time to the end zone. Broken out by Richard Sherman at the last moment.
You know, my biggest pet peeve with Vince Young as a quarterback is a lack of anticipation. Brad, if this ball comes out early, it's a touchdown all day long. Drop it right over his head up here. He waits too long. It gives an ability to break on the football by Sherman right there. Should have been a touchdown to Avant, but the ball has to come out earlier.
Sherman, a former wide receiver in his college days at Stanford, and he played that route perfectly and got a handout at the last possible moment. 2nd and 10, and the 12th man is showing up as you hear the noise here in Seattle. McCoy, nowhere this time. Hawthorne in the middle linebacker with another stop.
Really nice job staying home, because one of their best plays is the draw play to LaShawn McCoy. Hawthorne stays home, makes the play.
They got to get down to the 8-yard line for a first down. Field goals at this point don't do you any good when you're down 17, and Andy Reid knows that.
And Brad, the ball sitting squarely on the yard line that has caused them the most problem this entire season.
Yep.
The red zone, turnovers, and production have been horrific for the Eagles.
You're there, you're there.
3rd and 12. Young flares it out. Trying to get to the first down marker. Maybe. Selleck about a yard shy. That should bring the quarter to the close here in Seattle.
And that looked like a guy that cared to me, Brad. This whole drive looks like a team that's saying it's not over yet.
The third quarter is over.
That is the end of the third quarter.
24-7. Seahawks in command on their home field. The Eagles trying desperately to claw back into it. The play of the season for the Philadelphia Eagles is at hand as we start the fourth quarter. With Mike Mayock and Alex Flanagan, I'm Brad Nessler from Seattle, where the Seahawks have led throughout. Up 17, it's 4th down and 1 for the Eagles, and maybe for the Eagles season right here.
Interesting, they're going to spread the defense horizontally. One back, McCoy.
He gets the call. First down. So the drive stays alive. They've had the ball for over 8 minutes, but now they've got to get it in the end zone, and they got to start to hustle.
Yep. Hermans and Watkins did a good job on the right side there, and I like them spreading the field horizontally, giving a little more space for McCoy. But Brad, you called it correctly a couple minutes ago. They got to score 7 here.
Yep.
Have to have it.
15th play of the Eagle drive.
I'm here.
Selleck, the tight end in motion. Play action. Young throws short to Selleck. And it only got to the 4 though.
Tight end screen in this tight. Interesting call. Second time they've tried to run this. The first one was to Clay Harbor. This time the exact same play to Selleck.
And now Harvard comes back in. 76 yards, 15 plays, but time is of the essence. They're not trying to chew time. They're trying to save some time and get some points. Second and goal. McCoy. Tough inside run, but the Seahawks aren't giving much up. Clinton McDonald's had a big series on his defensive tackle spot. He's made about 3 stops on this drive alone.
Active kid from Memphis, third-year college free agent.
I'm with Andy. You saw him go, let's go.
Yeah, pick it up. Remember the Super Bowl a few years ago with Donovan McNabb? It was the lack of urgency against the Patriots that ultimately killed them.
Third and goal. Couple of minutes gone in the fourth quarter now.
Taking a while.
Trying to set up Avant in the slot. And just inside the 3. Vince Young, shuttle pass inside. Touchdown, McCoy. 2-yard touchdown pass. Vince Young, McCoy.
Really creative. A sprint with an inside shovel. He's going to sprint this way and then get shady underneath. Look at the block here at the point of attack. Nice job by the Eagles. Watkins and Harriman's, the inside shovel. You can see the pulling lineman in front of him. Going to come right up in here in the hole. That's a really good job. Evan Mathis coming out, cleaning the way.
One on the ground. One, even though it looked like on the ground, by reception from McCoy tonight. So the Eagles took a long time on a long drive, and they used a lot of clock. Still time left. They've cut it to 10. Online and on demand with NFL Game Rewind. Sign up today at NFL.com/Game Rewind. Well, Vince Young 6 out of 7 on that last drive, but it took 10 minutes and 13 seconds to get in the end zone after an 80-yard march. The kick out of the end zone. Seahawks will go back to work offensively at their own 20-yard line. Tonight has belonged to Marshawn Lynch and the Seattle team at home having a candy kind of night. Offensively at their own 20-yard line, leading by 10. 2 touchdowns for LaShawn McCoy tonight, a couple for Marshawn Lynch. The Seahawks would like to use as much clock as the Eagles just did on their last drive. Lynch, 3 yards that time. Coming into tonight, Marshawn Lynch had more yardage in the last 4 weeks than any back in the National Football League, and after his performance tonight's going to have to take somebody to have a really big outing this weekend to catch him.
And I keep going back to what Pete Carroll said to us, what Darrell Bevel said to us. They want to run the football, and philosophically, they're getting to where they want to with the run-pass ratio. They're balanced. Remember who's running the run attack, excuse me, Tom Cable, right, the old head coach of the Oakland Raiders.
There's Darrell Bevel, offensive coordinator on the sideline, and here comes some more Marshawn Lynch. Lynch, another tough run. And he's out across the 30 for a first down.
Same play, and I keep going back to the tight ends and the 2 tight ends in this game, but Cameron Marr again came across the formation and watch the block he gets. Bang! Right at the knees, right there. A real good cutback. These defensive ends from Philadelphia have to be aware when the ball goes away. Alert, alert, tight end coming back your way on the wind back.
Play action, Tavares Jackson gonna flare it out to Michael Robinson. And Robinson, a 5-yard reception, his 3rd catch of the night after having 4 coming into the season. Big night for Big Mike.
Yeah, big night for him. Golden Tate, you know, continues to develop as a wide receiver, and he has to with the injury to Sidney Rice.
Right. Sidney Rice on IR, by the way, if you missed that part earlier. Tavares Jackson's favorite receiver. Jackson has hit 9 of his last 10. So Tavares in a little bit of a groove. They don't need him to throw too much more if they can keep banging Marshawn Lynch up in there. Which is what they'll do. And trying to cut back, broke a couple tackles. That is a tough yard. Wow.
How does he even get back to the line of scrimmage? I mean, that's, I'm telling you, this guy's quick, he's tough, he plays with leverage. There's nothing here. Watch the cut right here. Back to his left. One missed tackle. Boom. Right through two guys, Coleman and Juqua Parker. Couldn't say it better, partner. Just a hard-earned yard.
Yeah. You don't think that this is a big third down, but if they pick the first down up, they're going to use a lot more clock. So this is big for the Seahawks. Here comes a blitz. Tavares Jackson had batted down at the line of scrimmage. Nice job by the Eagles defense. They're going to force a punt and get it back.
That's the third time safety Kurt Coleman's come through untouched. And what they're doing is overloading one side, and a great job by the Eagles defense in a fire zone blitz scheme.
See what the flag is about. Pete Morelli trying to walk the players off so they're not in the mix of our committee meeting between the officials.
Holding. Defense. 5-yard penalty on that first down.
Huge play. Wow. Huge play. And the Eagles busted it up the middle again. Kurt Coleman untouched. Now, look at this. 5 guys here and only 4 to block it. It's 5 on 4. Coleman comes through. Okung doesn't touch anybody, and Coleman gets a piece. Now, Ness, all that is negated because of the defensive holding and the automatic first down.
Talking about the penalty problems the Seahawks have had. There's a huge one that goes against the Eagles, and at the 10-minute mark, Seattle keeps the drive going.
Huge.
Jackson, tough catch by Michael Robinson. Out of the backfield, the fullback having a big night as a receiver.
I want to know who the hold was on. I don't think they announced it.
I don't think they did either. And now Pete Carroll's looking up there, and that clock can't go fast enough for Pete. And we got Michael Robinson went down after he got back to the huddle. I don't know if he's just got a cramp. Could be the case. We'll check on it.
I'm Colonel Carol Johnson, currently stationed at Scott Air Force Base, Illinois. I'm deployed here to Kabul, Afghanistan with headquarters, International Security Assistance Force, and we are very excited to be part of tonight's game. We have the United States Air Force here tonight, and we have some Seahawks fans. Yeah, and we have some Eagles fans.
Thank you, Colonel Johnson, and all of you, wherever you might be watching, and we thank you for what you do for us. Brad Nessler, Mike Mayock, Alex Flanagan, down to 9.5 to play in Seattle, leading by 10. Marshawn Lynch straight ahead, going to be close to the first down.
I like the call. Quick snap, second and about 3.5 or 4. You know you've got 2 downs to pick up 3 or 4 yards. I'm going Marshawn Lynch. How about you?
I would too. He has played a brilliant game tonight. One of the toughest runs you'll ever see at 15 yards was the first touchdown. A 40-yard sprint to the end zone was his second score. Golden Tate added one through the air and a field goal. That's where Seattle has it. It's 3rd down and inches right here.
2 tight ends.
Lynch hit the backfield, trying to get to that line, but the Eagles are not going to let him. He lost a yard.
Jamar Chaney did a heck of a job there. Untouched, and he beat the block by the fullback. Eagles claiming they got the football also.
They finally get everybody separated down there at about the 48-yard line.
I got to tell you, Chaney did a great job defeating the block of the fullback.
Got in there and wrapped around, and Marshawn desperately trying to pull away, but it's going to be a punting situation for John Ryan. Seattle did use about 4.5 minutes off the clock, so that helps their cause.
Timeout Philadelphia, second team timeout.
There goes the second timeout used by Philadelphia.
Full timeout.
Ooh. 8:05. They'd like to have those timeouts later, I'm sure. Seattle at home, leading by 10. If you're saying why in the world the Eagles take a timeout, if you do a little quick math there's 11 guys. The problem is there's another one back getting ready to return the punt.
4 down linemen, 7 behind, and a deep man equals 12. They burn a valuable timeout with 8 minutes left in the game.
Ryan to punt. Fair catch. Taken at the 11-yard line by Chad Hall. So Vince Young and the Eagles are 89 yards away and need 2 scores. Eagles from their own 11-yard line. Crucial drive with less than 8 to play. Vince Young loads it and goes complete to Deshaun Jackson. That's his longest catch of the night.
And that's the value of speed. Richard Sherman, the corner, plays way off. Not just because they're up by 10 points, but look at the cushion. Turns, he gets out, scared to death of that speed. No underneath help. Good throw and catch.
Eagles got to get up the line in a hurry. Use every valuable second they can. At the 31, first down.
You're right there. Right there.
Young flares it out. Perfect throw. McCoy at the sideline. Cuts back to the middle of the field, keeps his balance, and gets into Seahawk territory.
Well-conceived play. Brandon Browner fell. Watch what happens out here. 39 Browner comes off right here. Watch him fall. And all that does is open up the edge. So all of a sudden, Philadelphia makes a big play to Sean Jackson. Follows it up with another one to LaShawn McCoy.
At the Seahawk 45, first down.
Over here.
Under 7 minutes to play.
You're there. Right there.
Young in trouble. Throws as he goes down. They're going to say he was sacked.
Quickly sacked. Ball is down in the lead. Second down.
Referee was right there on it, and Leroy Hill with a sack.
Initially a good block by the running back. Gets it right there. The knee drops. Definitely a sack. Good call. I think that was Leroy Hill from the linebacker position crawling on him from underneath.
But backs it up to the 48. Second sack. Big one for the Seahawks defense. And now it's second down and 17.
Got to pick this pace up, fellas.
Young off play action. Loads, fires, complete, flags down, first down. A penalty marker right where Riley Cooper comes. Pickup of 19.
Browner and Cooper were going at it, I think.
Illegal contact, number 39, defense. Penalty is declined. Result of the play.
First down. 19-yard pickup.
The key here is Vince Young extends the play again. Browner right there with the contact. Double move, more contact. You could say that Riley Cooper pushed off a little bit also. However, no contact by defensive back after 5 yards is permitted.
At the 33-yard line, first down. Eagles trying to drive to close the gap. They trail by 10. Both teams at 4 and 7 in the hunt for the playoffs. But the hunt will be over if the Eagles don't come back and score in a hurry. Got it to Jackson, but he dropped. Nice job by Chris Clemens.
What a hustle play by the defensive end Clemens. He saw the lineman pulling. He just followed him right down the line of scrimmage.
Young has hit 10 of his last 11 passes, including that one, for the first down at the 30. Time is of the essence for Philadelphia. 5:15 remaining. And Seattle's going to take a timeout. Going to regroup a little bit on defense and try to shut down Philadelphia's drive. Pete Carroll's team at 4 and 7 trying to hold on here at home. Likewise, they're part of the group that's in the hunt for the playoffs. But it started like this for Vince Young. Turnover on the first snap of the ball game. It led to a Marshawn Lynch 15-yard touchdown. Then Marshawn, the next time he got his hands on it, on a drive, went 40 yards and out-sprinted everybody to the end zone. The Eagles answered with LaShawn McCoy, a couple of scores, one on the ground, one on a pass from Vince Young. You put that around Golden Tate's touchdown catch in the back of the end zone and a field goal, and that's the scoring tonight. Seattle by 10. Philadelphia, 1 timeout remaining. 5:14 to play. 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 5:14 remaining in the fourth quarter. Young, screen pass to McCoy. McCoy with the 23. And looks like another first down.
Alan Branch's helmet comes flying off. Interesting, the Eagles were in 3 wide receivers there, which usually dictates a sub package, but Seattle was in their base personnel.
They're taking too much time.
Yeah, here they are now. Now they're in their sub package, and the Eagles are taking too much time.
I don't know why they're not just going no huddle. They act like it's the second quarter. It's not. Vince Young. Oh, it's intercepted. That might be the ball game. David Hawthorne. He's gone. That led to 21 Seahawk points when this extra point goes through. And that might be all she wrote on the Eagles season.
-9 turnover differential coming in, -12 now. Way too many mistakes. And Vince Young, I don't know how you throw that football.
David Hawthorne came into the night as the leading tackler. His 3rd interception of the year, goes 77 yards on a pick six. 31-14.
And by the way, for me, David Hawthorne is one of their best football players. 4th-year player out of TCU, was undrafted. He's got man coverage. Play action fake. Vince Young's looking right at him. He's looking up here. He doesn't like it. He's coming back down to McCoy. You can't throw this football. He looks, he hitches. I think Hawthorne was stunned that the ball came to him. And Brad, this is a kid that 4 years ago was undrafted out of TCU. He's turned himself into one of the better inside linebackers in football. You can't be happier than this kid right here. Look at him. Good coverage. He hugs up on the running back. How do you throw that football?
Shouldn't.
And I mean, the vision was there. He had plenty of time to look, check. Worst case scenario, throw it away, and I think Vince knows that. I mean, he's obviously in pain.
He was the only guy that had a chance to catch him, but Chris Clemens threw the last block that number 57 needed. He won't forget that, Mr. Hawthorne, for a long time, I'm sure. 3 interceptions equals Seahawks 21 points. That's how the math figures out tonight.
And it's kind of really an overview of the Eagles season when you talk about it, the turnovers, and that's, if you're going to write an epitaph on this Eagles football team, I think that's it right there, the turnovers.
The kick goes 2 yards deep. Dion Lewis, and flags fly in, and Lewis return out to the 28 is going to come back.
There are 2 fouls by the receiving team. Illegal block in the back, number 57. That penalty will be declined. Holding, number 81. That penalty will be exited. Half the distance of the goal, first down.
As David Hawthorne had one of the penalties after he ran that touchdown all the way back.
Here's the story of the night on the first play of the ball game. Vince Young throws an errant pass. Cam Chancellor intercepted it. That led to a Lynch touchdown. Another interception off the hands of Cooper. Browner took that 55 yards the other way. That added to a touchdown. And then this one, just a touchdown right from the time Hawthorne grabbed it. 77 yards later, it's where we are, 31-14.
Well, let's be candid about these interceptions. The Riley Cooper one was not his fault. It was a great throw. The other 2 were really horrific interceptions.
McCoy run out of bounds by Earl Thomas.
Earl Thomas has so much range at the safety position. You know, we talk a lot about the Eagles season and how bad it is for this, quote, dream team. How about Seattle hanging in? Big win tonight. You mentioned earlier, Brad, at 4-7 a year ago, they'd be right in the hunt.
That's right.
If not for San Francisco running away with the division this year.
4:13 remaining. Young throws long for Cooper, and this one's intercepted by Bronner again with a hurdle job at midfield. What a night for that young man.
Spent 4 years playing in the Canadian Football League for Calgary, undrafted out of Oregon State, 6'4", 221 pounds, and a huge night.
And the former Calgary Stampeder has just stampeded all over Vince Young's night.
And Young's got to throw this. I have no problem with that. 6'4", undercuts the receiver. He's having a big night, and good for him. A week ago, he's the guy on 3rd and 19 that allowed a 50-yard touchdown pass late in the fourth quarter to help the Seahawks lose to the Redskins.
That's coming back, isn't it?
Yeah. Congratulations, Brandon.
Lynch brought down the line of scrimmage. No gain on that play, but he's had some great games tonight. Marshawn Lynch having about as good a 5-week stretch as you can have as a running back in the NFL. Don't forget, stick around when the game ends. Rich, Dion, Marshall, Steve, and Michael will be live on the field breaking down the action, highlights and player interviews, and make sure to keep it right here for the K-Jewelers post-game show immediately following our game tonight.
And Brad, an awful lot of organizational decisions are going to have to be made by the Philadelphia Eagles. Deshaun Jackson, contract year. You re-sign him with big money. Andy Reid, Juan Castillo, the defensive backfield. All those big money free agents, and meanwhile, Marshawn just keep marching on, doesn't he?
17 more yards. And we're under 3 minutes. It'll be a tough plane ride home, and even tougher when they get back home, I guess.
Juan Castillo, former offensive line coach, now the defensive coordinator, and his style as an offensive line coach couldn't be further from Howard Muggs. Huge transition for their offensive line, which is why they've got 3 new starters there this year.
Flags down. Pickup of a yard maybe for Marshawn Lynch.
Illegal shift off the offense, 2 men moving at the same time. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
He's smiling a little bit while he's talking to the ref because he's got this one salted away.
Pete just turned 60 not too long ago. Doesn't look like a 60-year-old to me.
Just seen him at practice 2 days ago throwing 7-on-7 drills. Told me he just got his knee replaced last summer, trying to get me to go to his doctor because he knows I need 2 of them. He's running around like a spry man. I'm telling you, he loves practice. It's pretty cool watching him run around.
Yeah, he throws about as much as his quarterbacks do at practice.
He really does.
Will be the last play before the 2-minute warning. Washington and wisely goes down at the line of scrimmage and doesn't allow him to be carried out of bounds to stop the clock. And that's going to do it down to the 2-minute warning.
That is a 2-minute warning.
The Eagles' last chance was snatched away. First by Hawthorne. They went 77 yards for a touchdown. Vince Young, tough night for Vince. Well, they snapped the ball on us, and there was a fumble and a penalty. So we're going to try to sort all this out.
I think the Eagles jumped the snap, trying to make something happen.
Defense, 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
They're going to walk it off 5 yards against the Eagles. There's the jump.
It's 2 of them that jump right there and there.
ankle is whole.
Second down and 10. Remember, the Eagles only have one timeout remaining. So another first down by the Seahawks, and that will just about do it. Washington with a stutter step. Got a yard or two. Thursday Night Football brought to you by Chevrolet and their award-winning cars, trucks, and crossovers. And by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on your car insurance.
What a great view, huh?
Century Link Field, a beautiful shot on a clear, cool night in Seattle. Might be clear and cool, but plenty hot if you're Marshawn Lynch. Just a sensational night for him. He had the first touchdown run. I think that sort of set the scene for the whole ball game in that he went into that pile of Eagles, came out the backside 15 yards for a touchdown, and that's the way the whole game is rolled.
Toughness. I like how gritty their offensive line was, and give them credit for good playing that two tight end offense and the ability on that wind back play, which is where all the big runs came from, with the tight end coming across the formation, cutting the defensive end from the Eagles, who usually was Jason Babin.
Right.
And, you know, that run game was the difference in the game.
Well, we got a third down coming up here, and the Seahawks know full well that they're going to be on their way to their 5th win here if they pick up the first down, because the Eagles are out of timeouts. Eagles were driving, but that one stray throw by Vince Young that turned into 7 points going the other way. A 77-yard interception return was the killer, the final one of the night. Washington only got about a yard as we get out of the field. Rich Eisen. Rich.
Well, Brad, Mike, I'm here to let you know what's coming up. It's a post-game show. You know the drill. The star of the game visits us on the set. We talk about the rest of the week, week 13. And also Donovan McNabb visit us at halftime. We'll revisit that. Back up to you.
All right, Rich, you might want to kind of load up on the Skittles. I got a feeling Marshawn Lynch will be part of the post-game festivities.
Wait, what? No post-game award, Rich? No pudding pie? No, come on, man.
Can't do that every week.
Yes, you can.
Special, just for holidays. Seahawks go for it on 4th down. Gives a lob out to the tight end. To the 1-yard line, Zach Miller. $25-yard pass play on 4th down. And the Seahawks are en route to a victory.
Play action, tight end, wide open. Coleman underneath. Corner, Samuel over the top. Eagles, of course, thinking run the whole way at 31-14. Interesting call by Pete Carroll.
And now I'm assuming that Pete's going to kneel down here. Or Tavares Jackson will kneel down.
If Pete does, it doesn't matter.
That's true. Tavares will. Two teams that came in at 4-7. One's going on a long plane ride home at 4-8.
Seattle still alive with St. Louis on the horizon right here in the same stadium a week from now.
Tell you what, if they play like they did tonight against everybody else they played, they got a shot.
No turnovers. We say small ball. Yep. No turnovers, good defense, good special teams. They can be a pain in the butt.
Tavares Jackson, a good night. Marshawn Lynch, a great night. And it's a good night to be a Seahawk fan. Going to do it for Mike and Alex and myself. 31-14 is the final. So the Seahawks go to 5-7, and the Eagles and their season starting to come to a close maybe at 4-8. Next week we'll be in Pittsburgh for the Steelers and the Browns. Hope you join us then. We'll be back in a minute. The Kay Jewelers post-game show featuring highlights, analysis, interviews, and press conferences. Stick around.